Alright guys, what's going on? Welcome back to another episode of On the Ropes. It is Sunday morning here in America. God knows what time it is over in Abu Dhabi, man. They had to fight at 9 a.m. yesterday, which was, I don't know if I would be able to do that. The time zone and everything, man, those athletes deserve a lot of credit, man, just to not only to go through the whole quarantine process and, going over to Abu Dhabi to a foreign country, having to quarantine over there, stay in the bubble, all this stuff. That's really tough, man. I give them a lot of credit. Um, yeah, man, and then to fight at 9 a.m. in the morning. So if you fight at 9 a.m., then that would mean that you would have to get up around 3 a.m., I would imagine, for the majority of the card. Even the main event, they would have to get up at an earlier time. So all that going on, getting up at 3 a.m., going over there, competing at the highest level possible, cutting weight, all this stuff, man, they deserve a lot of credit for that. Um, when at their level, I think they can adjust to that sort of stuff. They, all performed very well. It was a good card, great card. I watched it all through from the prelims all the way to the main event. Um, and yeah, let's get right into it. I had I was 3-2 in my picks for this fight. I got the first fight wrong, and obviously, like the entire world except for a few people, I got the last fight wrong. Yeah, man. We'll get into we'll work our way up until the main event. First of all, we had Ribas and Rodriguez. Ribas, obviously the hype. She was coming in with a little bit of a hype. UFC was promoting her pretty good after that Paige Van Zandt fight. She's 10-2 now. Fought a girl in Marina Rodriguez, who's I haven't seen her watch live, but I've seen a couple of her fights. Looked it up. Pretty good striker, man. Pretty good striker. She's 13-1-2. Second round, bit of a weird stoppage. Almost Amanda was given like a little lifeline where she could have came back and recuperate a little bit. It looked like Herb Dean stepped in. I thought he stepped in. It looked like and the fight could have been stopped there. To be honest, so Rodriguez walked away, and Ribas was still badly hurt to where she couldn't even recuperate from that little pause in action. So good stoppage there. Good win for Marina Rodriguez. I think Ribas comes back though. It happens. This is the fight business. She'll bounce back. Probably give her another fight here. After a little bit of a break. It was a good fight. Good stoppage or weird stoppage, but it was the right call. Then you had a middleweights going at it. Mahmoud Muradov and Andrew Sanchez. Both coming off highlight reel knockouts in their last fight. Muradov literally flung the guy's mouthpiece to the other side of the cage in his last fight. And Sanchez had a KO victory as well. So this fight, two middleweights going at it. Pretty good competition overall. It was a round 3 stoppage. I think they were trading pretty good blows, man. They were both pretty good strikers, in my opinion. I picked Mahmoud in this fight. I think his boxing was a little bit more crisper. He, came with a lot of good combinations towards Sanchez in the middle rounds, and just got the victory. It was a good stoppage as well. Pretty good context for Mahmoud, and should get a good contender coming up for his next fight. Then you had the women's flyweights. Calderwood and Jessica I. I picked Calderwood for this fight. Jessica I mean, she did come off of a win, I believe so. She had that loss to Shevchenko, as we know. I just picked Calderwood. I think Calderwood is a well-rounded fighter overall. She did good in the clinch with a lot of good knees. And she was the better boxer as well. I think she was slipping a lot of punches after giving a lot of shots of her own. And it was a good stoppage, obviously, or I'm sorry, not a stoppage, a decision, obviously. Clearly outpointed Jessica I. And I picked Calderwood because I think I just is a little bit gun shy. It's not in this fight, but In a majority of her fights, she did have that issue of not pulling the trigger. But for this one, she did look pretty good. She did get caught with a couple of good strikes. So that up kick was well placed, and overall a good job by Calderwood. And Jessica Eye, she's 15-9 now. Not sure what does next after this, but Calderwood definitely is looking good. I think she's always been good. Whenever she had take losses, it was it didn't look like she was completely out. She always bounced back, and this win definitely puts her right back up there for a good contender next. And then next we had obviously the co-main event next. Pretty hyped co-main event. Obviously under a Conor McGregor card, it might not have gotten the complete shine it deserved, but this was definitely a good matchup for Chandler. Looked like no one else wanted the fight in the division. Take a chance against a guy like Michael Chandler, who's the face of Bellator coming in, and got this one right too. He was the underdog in this fight, so if you bet on Michael Chandler, good for you. Wrestler style versus a long. Dan Hooker's really long and big for that weight class. I think he has a win over Gilbert Burns. He knocked out Gilbert Burns, who's a welterweight now. And yeah, man. I mean, Michael Chandler, he hasn't really fought UFC level competition. He has a win over Benson Henderson, but I trusted his approach to this game, and that's why I picked him to win this fight because I thought he was going to come here on a mission. He has a mission to come here and become a world champion. So I think he definitely has the tools now that he proved against Dan Hooker. But Dan didn't look himself in this fight. He looked kind of off. He looked kind of flat-footed. Looked kind of shocked or kind of frozen, like Dana said, in this fight. And I do agree, he did not look himself. Obviously, it was a really quick stoppage. Not much time in there, but man, Michael Chandler just pressured him the whole fight. Just stalked him the whole fight. All had octagon control for the whole 2 minutes and 30 seconds they fought, and you could tell he was looking for that big overhand. Then he kept going low to the body, and then finally he went up top with the hook. It was really fast. Obviously, the camera angle where they happened to be in that moment it was hard to see, but good stoppage for Michael Chandler now. Very, very excited for what's next in this lightweight division for him. Puts him right up there. Obviously, he called out all three main guys in the division. He didn't call out guys like Justin Gaethje, though, which, obviously, I mean, these are the main guys going at it tonight, so it makes sense that he did call them out. But, there's a lot, obviously, this deep division that they're in. There's a lot of guys, a lot of matchups to be made, so we'll see what happens with the matchups as well. Definitely not short of any competition here. But I do like where Michael Chandler is at. He couldn't have performed any better on his debut. And now he puts him line for a good challenger next. I think I don't think he gets the title shot next, but he will get a very high ranked opponent. For for Chandler, it could be a guy like Justin Gaethje. They could do Oliveira as an option. I think it would be one of those two, unless they decided to do him and Poirier next, which does also make sense, given that they just fought and got victories in these two lightweight matchups. So I wouldn't be mad at Chandler or Dustin Poirier. I honestly wouldn't be mad. You have Oliveira in the mix, which you can mix it. We'll see what they do, man. It's really up to them. I wouldn't be mad at Dustin Poirier and Michael Chandler, though. The other two people you can mix and match with would be Oliveira and Gaethje. Either way, it makes for a great fight. Personally, I would like to see. I mean, if Khabib is retired, if that is finalized, obviously we're all planning this out as if he is retired. So, if he is retired, I wouldn't mind seeing Poirier and Chandler go at it for the title. And you can then incorporate Oliveira and Gaethje afterwards. But obviously, we'll see what happens with this one. Which leads us into the main event. Very, very tough night for a McGregor fan out there. It's pretty devastating. It's very shocking. Obviously, a lot of people were shocked. Never seen Conor. I mean, this is the first time Conor McGregor's been KO'd, and that's very upsetting as a fan to see. Obviously, at the age of 32, these are not the young men that we once saw in their first matchup. McGregor was the first one to KO Dustin in their fight, and now Dustin's the first person to KO McGregor in his career. So it's pretty sad to see if you're a McGregor fan. It looked like he was very confident coming into this fight. Looked like he prepared very well, and I think that he obviously he wants activity and competition, and the last time we did see him was back in January against Cerrone. And then the conversation goes into Cerrone being older and easy win for McGregor and things of that nature. But that really, if you look at it, so McGregor's fought Khabib in 2018, Cerrone in 2019 or 2020, and now he's fought Poirier. So within those 3 years, he's really 1-2, and one is against Cerrone. So I don't think he's declining. I don't think anything's wrong. I do see changes, obviously, both in his personality and his character as well as his fighting style. For his fighting style, I think he's a lot more flat-footed. I did see that he was flat-footed in this fight. Normally we're used to seeing Conor in that karate stance. How he was against obviously Aldo and their first fight with Poirier. Very much in that moving around on the balls of your feet, bouncing karate style, which I think opens up a lot of countering strike options for McGregor, which obviously he's capitalized on a lot of his fights. But in this fight, he took more of a boxing approach. First round, I thought he was, kind of taking it easy, honestly, against Poirier. Not easy as in, I'm not going to land these strikes, but he was kind of just taking his time with it and picking his shots more so, and being calculated with it. He was cracking him a couple times, but obviously those kicks, man, those kicks really devastated him. I was kind of, he ate one and then he kept eating a couple more. I'm like, are you going to check some of these kicks now, or even though it's very hard to check those low-level calf kicks, especially when you're a southpaw against a striker like Poirier. So you're not really used to having to worry about the calf kicks from that position. But I think that after the first round, that leg was really compromised. Second round, Poirier did eat some shots. Obviously, this fight being at 155, Poirier, obviously after all those years being very durable, was able to eat some of those shots that McGregor was landing, and capitalized on McGregor just being compromised with that leg and caught him with some good shots. And we've never seen, Conor was out for a second there after Poirier landed that right. He when he was on the ground, he was out with that first shot partially. So very, very tough to see, very sad to see for McGregor. Obviously, you see the strikes. Pretty even clinch time. I think Conor Poirier had a takedown, but Conor did a good job getting up from those off the cage and circling. But man, it's very, very tough to see for McGregor. Obviously, was predicting a 60-second finish, turned into a second round a loss for him. I did predict second round for McGregor, but obviously it went the other way. I thought Khabib tweeted after the fight, and we'll get into this, about changing teams and stuff like that. I didn't see McGregor change anything really from his team. Still with the same guys, and this dives into a lot more stuff now. Is he on his way out of his prime? Is he not into it anymore? It doesn't look like he's not into it. I mean, talking about how he's looking for activity, looking to make a run in 155 and things of that nature. Good thing after the fight, we heard, he's looking to just regroup and get back into it, which is a good sign. Definitely losing some star power now. If you look at it generally, he is. Now that he's been beaten a couple times, where does he go from here? This, for me personally, this is the best time to make McGregor Diaz 3. Diaz coming off a loss, been out for a little bit. Conor coming off a loss, obviously not as much activity as he would like. So it definitely would make sense to make that fight. Obviously, they want a rematch of this. I don't think they do the rematch right away. Um, I don't think it was that close of a decision, or it wasn't that controversial of a stoppage either. So I don't think they do the rematch right away. I think this is the perfect time to do Diaz and McGregor 3. Sometime in the summer, I wouldn't mind seeing that. Um, and then go from there. But definitely tough times for McGregor here. Looked like he was well prepared, great shape, made the championship weight, and just took a finish. I don't know. I like seeing them like this. They're humble and friendly and all that. They literally wouldn't stop shaking each other's hands in the lead up to this fight. It's good to see, but I mean, a part of you does miss seeing McGregor and and anybody just going at it. Just trash talking and getting into each other's heads. And Dana said it the best. I mean, I think this is like, if you look at the Rocky movie series, this is like Rocky 3, when McGregor has the yacht, and all these accolades and money and stuff like that. And same with Rocky, where he's in the limelight and going through it, and it takes away from his luster a little bit. Even though that's a movie, and McGregor is definitely not one to be strayed away from focusing on his craft. He's in love with the game, but that's what I attribute it to. I just think the calf kicks took a toll on him. Obviously, his style. I mean, but the changes in his style did, I think, play a part in this loss. Just being really flat-footed. Even though he was picking out great shots from a boxing standpoint, I think that if he was more agile and more in and out with his striking, I think he would have evaded most of those calf kicks from Poirier. But some of it has to do with, as well as his approach to it. I think he is losing that eye of the tiger a little bit, and hopefully it's not. I mean,